Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. And I've gone back to making like little intro videos to put at the beginning of each reading. So that's what this is. And I'm stalling because I can't remember what I was actually going to say in this intro. Memory. Anyway, okay, here we go. It's all coming back to me now. Couple things. I'm going to stick to just doing human design profile readings for the time being. I also am going to start doing readings by type as well. So, there'll be a reading for manifestors, there'll be a reading for projectors, there'll be a reading for generators and manifesting generators. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep those in one reading for now anyway, until I feel differently about it. And then reflectors as well. So I'm going to add those readings in, but I just, a little birdie told me to stick with those. And I think, honestly, in great part because those are the readings that I actually get like a response on, and there's more engagement in those readings that I put out. And that's what I want, and being a manifesting generator myself, right? It's responding. So, instead of doing the zodiac signs and the human design profile readings, at least for the next little while, I don't know how long that'll last until a birdie tells me to do differently. And obviously that birdie is like my intuition or like my own like personal guidance, right? But that's what I'm going to do for the time being. And I think like part of why I haven't necessarily done that sooner is because I really haven't been engaging with or like super I don't know, whatever the fucking word is. Like, how annoying is that? To not be able to find the right word. I just haven't been as in the realm of human design as I have been with astrology. Like I've been spending a lot of focus on just understanding astrology, and especially like my own astrology. And so I just really haven't been engaging with a lot of human design content. Like I really haven't been keeping on top of it. So as a 5/1, I think I just feel a bit insecure about making that the prominent thing. And I honestly, I can't even say that's going to change. Like I'm not saying that like I'm going to start diving heavily back into human design just yet. I know the basics. I know all of the shit that like I did learn before. But yeah, that is the truth. That is the truth that I haven't been as on top of that as I have been on top of astrology. I mean, obviously, astrology is also included in like human design, but anyway, that would be getting into a bit of like semantics. So, from here on, for however long, I'm just going to stick to doing human design profile readings. The 333 readings are still available. Those are the only that's the only offering that I have right now. Like, I'm not doing longer form, or I'm not doing one-on-one, like, personal readings for the time being. I had a couple people email me about a personal reading, like a longer form personal reading, and I just don't feel called, or it just doesn't feel good for me to put energy into those for right now. For whatever reason, I mean, I do feel like I'm in this, like, transitionary phase, and I'm like literally in the middle of it, like that liminal space, and I just kind of feel like I need to kind of keep my energy, like, focused on whatever is going to unfold, like, with that. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't feel good to offer, like I said, like, anything basically beyond, like, those 333 readings. So, which is also, like, kind of scary, right? Like, because I'm like, ugh. I could use the money right now. I could use, really, ultimately, I could use the money right now. Like, that is the truth of it. I could use the money, but that is the only thing, like, and that's not, like, a very good, that's not a motivator that, like, feels good, for me right now. So the capacity that I do have is, again, the 333 readings. The basics of that is that it's $3.33. You would Venmo me $3.33 and include your email address, and I will pull 2 cards for you. The first card would be the door, or, that's basically the obstacle or the opportunity, or the thing that you are standing in front of, or the thing that you are coming up to in your life. And then the key would be the guidance or the advice, or how to work through that obstacle, or, rite of passage, or, whatever. And the readings that I have done on those so far, and thank you to those who have requested that offering, they have been so amazing and so cool. But it is a written reading, so you'll get a PDF with a picture of the tarot card. The interpretation that I have for it, and then any, overall, like, thoughts or things that I kind of picked up on in those cards too. So again, like I said, the ones that I have done have been so amazing and so cool, just the way that things have unfolded. And, the people who have gotten those readings, there's been great feedback from those readings as well. So thank you also for that. And I'll put, of course, an explanation of that in the description. Yeah, really quick then, because this is long as hell all of a sudden. Let me just introduce the decks that we're going to be using. The tarot deck is the Wandering Moon Tarot, and the I was going to say the affirmation deck, which I guess that it is, but the Oracle deck that we're going to be using is the Inner Fucking Peace deck, and my sister actually sent these cards to me. So yeah, let's get into the reading. Great. So this is the reading for the reflectors. I'm sorry that it's, like, taken me a couple days to get to your, all of a sudden, like, my palm is itching. Are you guys gonna win some money? Is that still a thing? Like, is that is that what that means? Do you need to play the lotto? This is not financial advice. But anyway, I know it's only been, like 2 days or something like that. But every time I like came down here, we have the 9 of Wands. Anytime I was, like, all right, I'm going to make a move to my desk to like do the reading. I just got kind of the feeling of like, no. So I'm like, okay. Or not like no, but just not yet or whatever. And, you know, I mean, I definitely honor that. And then I kind of got this like idea in my head to do it really early in the morning, like around the time that I like first wake up. And I'm usually up between like 4:30 and 5 these days, which I never thought would ever become a reality for me. And I fucking love it. And so anyway, I can't just like start talking right away though. You know, like I have to like wait for my soul to like re-enter my body, and that usually takes a little while. So anyway, it is not, you know, that early in the morning, but I just kind of wonder if there's something for you in that message of like early in the morning. Also, too, we have the 5 of Wands here. Also, you know, the whole thing about like your first thought in the morning being almost like a channeled message, because it really is. It's like right when you wake up, if you have like a specific thought or to do a specific thing, or it's almost like a decision's been made if you've been like chewing on something. It really is like your intuition or, you know, your soul speaking to you, because your ego isn't quite awake yet, you know? So, and the Page of Wands, look at all these wands. 4 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Very interesting. Is this, yeah. Okay. 4 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And let's get your affirmation card out. It really does seem like there has been something, though, that this says talk to Hamsa, which I'm assuming is kind of more like talk to the hand, because I'm done listening. Yeah. You know, like, were you part of that generation? It's like, talk to the hand. Because I'm done listening. Yeah, so I think that ties in perfectly with what I was going to say. I mean, these 2 cards talk about like strife, really. Wands are about action, the actions that we take, the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego is, or hello? I'm like, I was about to start talking about swords. How random. Huh. Okay, well, let me finish that thought, because maybe there is something to that. Because like I was saying, you know, like when you hear that the decision or the idea or the whatever, even a song, like if you wake up with a song in your head, play the whole song and see if there's a message there. That's like, is that like clear audience, I believe? That happened to me. I had a dream about my first real boyfriend, like my first actual boyfriend in life. But he passed away. He was really fucking young, but he passed away from cancer a couple years ago. And I had this dream about him, so random. And I got this feeling that he was making amends in a sense. Like there was no conversation between us. There was a really awkward hug. And that was like pretty much it, you know, like, but like I said, like I got the feeling in the dream that it was more of making amends. And I mean, it had been decades since we talked, but he is kind of an important fixture, at least like in my life, because he was like my first real boyfriend. And so anyway, I woke up with the song Cool by Gwen Stefani in my head. And I listened to the whole song, and I shit you not, I'm like, I really do believe that like it was about making amends and that, you know, we're cool, you know? So anyway, just as an example, but you know, if there is a decision that you hear, and okay, sorry, I keep like going on tangents. I don't know what's up with it either. Thank you for sticking with me if you are still here. Like the whole ADHD, like, you know, just pinballing all over the place. Anyway, ego, I mentioned, you know, because it's like before your ego has a chance to like realize what's happening, right? Or like I said, it like takes a minute for like my soul to re-enter my body in the morning, you know? So interesting that like I was going to go on this whole thing about, I'm talking about wands, and then just because I literally was just talking without even thinking, I started talking about swords, because when I talk about swords, I talk about ego and how we generally tend to hear our ego in our mind, and our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, interactions, right? And it becomes our belief systems. It becomes the reasons why we do and don't do things. It becomes the reasons why we perceive our reality in the way that we do perceive our reality. So that might be important to you in this reading here. But wands, what I meant to say is I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works. We figure out what doesn't work. What do we like? What don't we like? What stays? What goes? And truly the only way to figure those things out is by doing. I mean, you know, like there's been so many crafts or hobbies that I was like absolutely convinced was going to become my personality. And I was going to do it nonstop, you know, and spent hundreds of dollars on materials for it, only to find out that I fucking hated it, you know, or that there were parts of it that I didn't like. There were parts of it that I did like. So, you know, tweaking the parts that I didn't like, or just not doing that part. There's been plenty of times that I have loved the things that I thought I was going to love, or that I hated the things that I thought I was going to hate, but I had to try, right? And that's how we get information. And so, you know, we have one card here that is considered the quote unquote wounded warrior. Nines are also individual completion. And when we get to the Nine of Wands, it's kind of like feeling a little beat up by the actions that you have taken. Like, you know, I mean, sure, you have the wisdom, you have the information now, but it's still like, man, can it come through in any other way except for a lesson from the universe? Like, I don't need another lesson. Why is there a random little bug on my thing, my sleeve? Where did that even come from? Anyway, random. But, and I just kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, like, you know, can it not come through as another lesson? Or two, it's like, it could be putting your energy into things that are not correct for you. I mean, you know, I don't personally know a reflector in my life. And I also want to start inviting people to share their experience in the comments if you feel comfortable to do so, or just what you understand about your type, how that maybe comes through for you. I would love to read your experience, because for me, I learn better that way. Like anytime I'm searching for anything, I'll put Reddit behind it because I want to hear real people's experiences with things. I don't want to read somebody's blog that I don't know if it's sponsored or they're getting paid for an opinion, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll just leave that there. I want to read like real people's unbiased, experiences with whatever it is that I'm, Googling most times. So anyway, like I said, like I want to start inviting people, and I'm going to start with you because I haven't done it in any other reading. But if you feel comfortable to share what reflector energy, like how you've noticed that working in your life and how that comes through for you, and what that even means to you too. Like I just typed in reflector human design, and one of the first things, probably because I always type in Reddit, which I don't think I did I don't know, but human design reflector basics, and it's like this person named Tim. He's a 3/5 reflector, and he just is sharing a couple things for any curious souls, which I am one. I am a curious soul. That might be my first line because I'm a 5/1. So anyway, actually give me just a second to like read through this. Although, I mean, I'll cut this part out so you don't just sit here and in silence while I read this. Actually, let me just read this to you. Okay. I'm sure, I mean, obviously you could probably find this for yourself if you want to, but I mean, since I'm already here, let me just read this. And again, like you can tell me if this is true for you, because I also think that it's going to be imperative like for your reading as well. So of course, we'll get back to that. But okay, so number 1, reflectors feel everything deeply. And if we are in the presence of someone living their authentic design, we take on their power, excitement to the point where we feel like that is us. For example, if we speak to someone who is a great photographer, we may feel them so strongly that we will be inspired to be one too. As soon as their energy has cleared from us, we don't even think about photography anymore. The same is true for people experiencing negative life experiences, and we also feel our environment in the same way. So it's crucial that we are with the right people, right environment, right career. When these factors are not in alignment, we can feel pretty terrible, disappointed, etc. Because I believe the not self is disappointment, and the aligned self, or like the signature, is surprise, wonder. Okay, so let's continue. Number 2, what are we here for? What is our purpose? We can be defined as a mirror, a chameleon, or a barometer. Other design types have some fixed qualities, which means that they see the world through a certain lens. Reflectors have no fixed authority, so we have the gift of objectivity. We can see other people perfectly and are able to reflect this back to them. The world is full of systems that humans have created. Our role is to calibrate humans and therefore calibrate the world. In a traditional village, we were the shaman or wise people. We didn't need to do much. People would seek our reflective qualities. But in modern society, it's helpful if we get qualified and But in modern society, it's helpful if we get qualified in a helping field such as psychology, therapy, anthropology, and a million other professions that allow us to calibrate people or systems. it's also good because we really thrive as a highly paid consultant. This helps us to thrive in a material sense given our irregular energy type. Basically, make sure you can earn a living doing something that aligns with your design, or it's likely you will burn out. Many people write about reflectors as if we are an unsolvable puzzle, an enigma, or a cute unicorn. No, we have a specific and very powerful nature, but we are a minority at 1% and quite misunderstood and overlooked. Many reflectors experience burnout and would like to support the reflector community. Many reflectors experience burnout, and I would like to support the reflector community to thrive by better understanding ourselves. Feel free to get in touch. Extra points to consider. It is important for us to wait before making decisions. Ra always said that reflectors should wait a full moon cycle, but I would say that it's usually just important to wait as long as you need. You don't need to rush for anything or anyone. Lastly, it is helpful if we can publicly own our design. Some people are open to supporting your unique human design profile. However, if you need to explain your unique qualities to somebody, you can try by using terms used in psychology, such as by explaining to people that you are neurodivergent. You can tell them that you need extra time to make decisions, that you have very strong feelings, and that you need a lot of alone time because you get very overwhelmed. So again, let me know. And I think, let me know if that resonates with you first. Second, I think what is also really fucking hard for any other type in human design is because, like this said, every other type in human design has centers defined, right? Projectors, it might just be 2 centers defined. I think that's probably the minimum amount of centers that can be defined, of course, in human design is 2. And of course, depending on what those 2 are, comes with its own energy mechanics, I guess. But for you guys, you have no centers defined, completely open. So I think that's probably why other types have a really hard time understanding what that means, because nobody else experiences that except for other reflectors, which, definitely a good idea to find, Facebook groups or Reddit groups where there are people who are almost mirroring your experience or at least validating your experience. And like I said, I think it actually fits into your reading really well because there's a lot of action being taken here, and it is coming through as there could definitely be burnout happening here, and it could be because you are almost even trying to approach things from a different energy type. You could be trying to approach things from a sacral, because this is all fire, and sacral is life force energy. So again, you could be, and we all are conditioned to be generators or even manifestors, because, manifestors are, they're the ones that are to initiate. They're the ones that are, to make that impact and have that ripple effect out. It's almost like they activate other design types into action, or at least generators maybe. But, and then generators have the weight to respond, but they're constantly responding to life. Whereas you guys are reflecting other people's lives. You're reflecting the environment that you're in. So maybe you're even in an environment where there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, maybe there's a lot of people that are burnt out. And you might notice that on your days off are really just spent clearing that energy out, because also too, I think it mentioned in here, needing a lot of time alone because you get very overwhelmed. Making sure that you do have a practice of making sure that you have a lot of downtime or that you are alone, or even taking baths or showers with like intentions of clearing out any energy that's not yours. And of course, like it said, like publicly owning your design. Like there's nothing wrong with, or even just getting comfortable with saying, it takes me longer to make decisions. Like I cannot rush into a decision. So if this is something that you need a decision quickly on, I'm not the person, for it, or I'm just not going to be able to do that for you. That's not something I can accommodate. It mentions, neurodivergent. It mentions, just having very strong feelings that you need a lot of time alone because you get overwhelmed. Like you don't have to over explain, of course, but just saying, hey, like this is how I best operate, or, like how I best, operate or make decisions or take action. And especially like if you are in a field where it does, like it requires a lot of energy output, then that could be what is causing burnout. This Page of Wands is what it's like this is the thing that feels like surprise and wonder, because that's literally, I mean, especially the wander part. Wonder, WONDER. I don't know if I'm like pronouncing that right. Not wander, like, oh, I'm just wandering around. No, like I'm full of wonder. Okay, anyway. Because like the Page of Wands, that is very adventurous and almost like a sense of awe, and feeling excited, feeling adventurous, and even a little surprised as well. This over here feels like the disappointment part, but this also even more feels like burnout. It feels like putting your energy into, again, like things that either you don't care about or aren't in alignment with you. Again, like I mentioned already, it could be that you are trying to live as a sacral being or a being that has some type of authority, whereas like you don't, right? So it feels like this Page of Wands is almost like reclaiming your design, like reclaiming what your design even means for you. And I also love that they said about the part about the wait a full moon cycle, because it does, like, Rahuru, girl, Ra says that Reflector should wait 28 days. And part of that is because the moon moves through all 62 motherfucker, how many? $64. Damn it. Okay, 64 gates. I was close. But the moon moves through all 64 gates in a 28-day cycle. So the moon could potentially activate channels for you. So that's also why like it would be a good practice to even maybe track the moon cycle, and it would be If you're not familiar with that, it could also be important to get into a reflector group, because no doubt that they do that already. Like, no doubt somebody is already in there saying, hey, the moon is in this gate for however many days, so it's activating this. And you can look at your chart and be like, okay, I have the hanging gate on the other side of that, so now it's activating, say my root and my emotional center. And how does that show up for you? Right? Like, just kind of tracking those things and seeing the impact that it has on you. And with this talk to the Hamsa here, because I'm done listening, it's almost like just not being able to take in any more information. Also, like what I was saying at the beginning, like if you're part of that generation who did that, talk to the hand, because the face ain't listening. Yeah, I mean, you would say that when you're done. You're just like, no, stop. I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm not open for opinion. I mean, but again, like this could be because there might be some sort of burnout. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, and the Page of Cups. And the 2 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Now, yeah, this combo with the 4 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands, it really could be that you're trying to stick with something. It's like, like remaining in a space, in a position, in a job, in an environment, a relationship, whatever, that it's like literally sucking the life out of you. But for whatever reason, like you're staying there because maybe, it's your source of income, or, like there's a feeling of self-worth or something there as well, or loyalty or something along those lines. But it's like not doing anything beneficial for you at all. I kind of want to see. Unwilling to share, greed, selfishness, stingy, controlling, possessive over people. That's what the 4, dang. I am the card of accumulation. I grasp all that I have and hold it tightly close to my chest. Whilst this ensures I have all that I need and more, at times the costs can be more than financial. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe, you're doing that because, again, it's like anything outside of that feels uncertain or feels stressful, or maybe you just don't see the path forward or see how it could be different. But truly, like holding on to it is also probably burning you out. Like, I love that we have the 10 of Pentacles on the 5 of Wands. It's interesting because this could also even be like sharing your perspective. Like the thing was talking about like being able to, of course, like reflect or mirror back environments and, let's see, where was it? Calibrate humans and therefore calibrate the world. But in modern society, it's helpful if we get qualified in helping fields such as psychology, therapy, a million other professions, or be a highly paid consultant. I mean, truly, it could even just be speaking up and being like, if it is your job, and I'm kind of going the job route because Pentacles, money, work, resources, materials, it doesn't necessarily have to be job. It can be, anything. But sharing your insight. This is something that would be aligned, doing something that aligns with your design so that you don't burn out. Because even like if there is some sort of conflict, some sort of clash happening, which we see with the Five of Wands, like no doubt you see why that's happening. Maybe you have like a feeling even too, right? Because again, like, you know, if you are in negative environments or people who are living out of alignment or, you know, negative emotions, like no doubt, like you're able to process why this conflict or clash is happening. And you would be able to share, hey, like this is what I observe. This is how I think it would work differently or better. Or, you know, like if you make these changes, then this could be the result. And also too, it's being in environments where that is appreciated. Maybe too, like it's even figuring that out for yourself. And maybe that's already something that you are already considering. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is success. Monetary success, right? It's having an abundance of, it's being able to take care of yourself and others. There's a generational wealth and a legacy aspect that comes with the Ten of Pentacles. There's just ancestral in general. I love how like they're just sitting on the ground. Like it's not active. It's just, it's present in your life. Again, it's like the three cards down here are the active cards. And it just kind of seems like maybe the actions being too active in whatever capacity is what's causing the burnout versus experimenting with your design instead of trusting your design too and playing with that. Even like I love that we have the Page of Cups on top of the Page of Wands. Pages are the apprentices. They're the newbies, you know, like they're usually like the adolescents or like the kids in the court cards, but it's more of like innocence and curiosity and adventure and surprise and wonder, right? Like those are the themes for reflectors. Like, you know, wonder, you know, surprise, wonder, like they both fit. But the Page of Cups is more like imagination, creativity, stopping to smell the roses, you know, like it is more honing in on your intuition and allowing yourself to be guided by that, which of course, you know, when we talk about human design, following, or again, like experimenting with your design and, you know, where is your conditioning here and how would your experience, like what changes can you make to that? What tweaks can you make to that in order for life to literally work better for you? The Two of Pentacles is balance. Restoring balance, finding balance even for the first time. It's also too, like this to me looks like an energy exchange. Instead of, you know, having like all this chaotic energy around you, it's giving and receiving, not necessarily like one at a time, but it's more, what do I want to say? Like, what is the word? Organized, or it's more, let me see if, let's see. Finding balance in many tasks, varying responsibilities, adjusting, multitasking. I am a I am the card of juggling all the responsibility life asks of you. This skill takes time to develop, and we can only do this at our own pace. Fear not, because you are enough. You are capable. It didn't give me the word I was looking for, but true. Yeah. This is also too, right? This whole like holding on to or like keeping yourself in an environment that is sucking the life out of you. This is restoring that balance. This is feeling more clear of that energy. This is feeling even more clear of yourself, you know, like feeling more in your own energy, feeling less bogged down. Or again, too, recognizing when you are in somebody's presence who, you know, like they are living their design and how good that feels to you. But like I said, like being sure that you have a practice of like clearing that out of yourself as well. Even like the mantra, like every time before I start these readings, I sit here and I set the intention, and part of that intention is for the message to come through me, not from me. So that could even be a mantra that you start picking up for yourself as well, for the energy to go through you, not from you. And like anything that gets stuck in there, you set the intention for it to move through you, not to be absorbed. This was awesome. I hope that everything made sense. I know, like I said, like I know that I was like kind of pinballing around there, and I hope enough people stayed like long enough. But again, you know, like I welcome you sharing your experience. I would love to hear it. And thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.